Case Construction Equipment delivers performance you can count on. And ASCO backs you with the expert service and support you need to keep you running all year round. Sales, rental, parts, service. We're on it at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by your local ASCO today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here live at the Native Sun, which is on the corner of Buffalo and Dallas, here in Canton, where we are getting ready to, talk about Canton High School sports. So I'm hoping that you are super excited about it, because we are, along with all the great food that is going to be here. And so if you don't know where we are, we're on the northwest corner of Dallas and Buffalo. Sign says Native Sun on the side of the building. If you remember where Buttermilk was. Buttermilk, sorry, that's my bad, whatever. If you know where that was, that's where we are, but we are now Native Sun, and we're here. And as you heard the person that corrected me, because, should I be wrong, I shall be corrected by the one, the only, the David Barber. But that's a whole nother story that we're not even getting into at this point. And so, having said that, I'm going to turn it over to the Godfather, David Barber. Hold on, David. Hold on, David. Okay, go, David.
Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Huddle Show. This is your number one source for football information in Van Zandt County. I'm David Barber, Van Zandt News sports correspondent. Pleased to be joined, as always, by T.A. Hale from the Buzz Brothers, the counselor Joel Elliott, engineer Ken is with us tonight. Gentlemen, we have a special guest that will be coming on the program later. We're looking forward to visiting with Van football head coach Jared Moffitt. And I'm sure he'll have plenty to talk about, especially concerning last Friday night's game against Lindale. So we look forward to hearing what he has to say a little bit later on.
David, I can remember when we used to compare, who was the most tenured coach in Van Zandt County. We've quit doing that a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've even brought that up.
16th season for Coach Moffitt at Van. Yeah. So he's always a very entertaining guest, and we look forward to visiting with him here shortly. In the meantime, let me mention one item that we always hate to report on things like this, but we need to share with you, if you have not already heard, that the football season is already over for the Fruitvale Bobcats. They have been dealing with a lot of injury and illness issues over the past few weeks, and the decision was made recently that due to a lack of numbers, they are canceling the remainder of their 2025 varsity football schedule. Now, in talking to Coach Lane last week, he said that their junior high schedule will go on as scheduled. But the varsity season is over, and I hate to hear that for any program and for any coach, but especially for a first-year head coach like Eric Lane. And so, Coach Lane, if you're listening tonight, we just want to say best wishes to you and your program, when we hope you all are back on the field ready to go for 2026.
Absolutely.
Well, and I kind of hate that. Are they going to move their homecoming to basketball, I guess they'd have to?
No. They have actually moved all their homecoming festivities to Thursday night.
Okay.
So if you're going to be involved with that, keep in mind the pep rally, the Queen's coronation, all of those activities, the parade will take place on Thursday night instead of Friday. So they're going to move along and take care of that this week.
Well, that'll be kind of exciting for the sub-varsity guys to be the focus of homecoming.
Yeah, there is no game scheduled.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
No, the junior high program is going to continue, but I don't think there is a game scheduled this week.
Okay.
But anyway, that's the situation over in Fruitvale, so we certainly wish them the best going forward. In the meantime, let's talk about some teams that did play last Friday night. And gentlemen, which direction do we want to go? Wills Point first, or do we want to go a different direction?
Let's talk about Wills Point because there's
some crossover here.
Yeah,
we can talk about.
So I felt pretty pretty smart earlier when I said that they were just going to whoop up on Venus. And then last week I said, you know what, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think they're going to beat Maybank, and they almost did. But it's my understanding that they had a really good first half and things didn't go quite as well in the second half. I don't know how that all plays out, but the way it goes into this coming week, Canton's playing Maybank, which I'm not sure if you can gain anything from that Wills Point game that's going to help you with Canton because of how that whole thing went. But my understanding is Wills Point started off just like gangbusters, jumped up to an early lead. I'll give you some stats.
When I saw that, I thought, okay, same old Maybank. Right?
Yeah. So Maddox had 16 passes completed out of 25, 185 yards, had a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Receiving, you got a lot of kids here. You got Jax King, who had 3 receptions. You had Brian Martinez, who had 3 receptions. I mean, it just goes on down the list, and it's Cunningham. You got Ramirez. I mean, and then number 3, you got Braden Crow, who had, I believe he had 5 catches for 55 yards. So they were doing well. I'm not sure exactly how it got to where they ended up, but I hate to see them lose a close one like that. Now,
Yeah, I can tell you that it sounds like a lot of things may have gone Maybank's way. A lot of things in terms of maybe big plays, turnovers, and in the second half, just a lot of things went Maybank's way. And they were able to put up, 36 points in the second half?
Yeah, and where did they play? Where were they?
I think it was at Wills Point.
No, it was at Maybank.
Okay.
I mean, they did it in Maybank.
Okay.
So they're and this is the next point that kind of has me just confused as to what I think about them. After the first week, I was kind of disappointed, but then after they really did what I thought they should have done with Venus, and on paper, looked like what I thought they were going to do last Friday night, didn't quite pull it off. Now they have Farmersville, and they're playing at home, isn't that right?
That's correct.
So they're playing in Wills Point against Farmersville. Farmersville barely beat Blue Ridge. Now, this is where you corrected me, because I saw that Farmersville beat North Lamar 21-0, but that was a shortened game. You said that one ended at halftime.
Yeah, now you really scratch your head if that one is a full game.
Right.
Yeah.
It was, and that's what I had kind of envisioned. And then Canton beat North Lamar 49-0. So if you extended the game out, then that might be more, in line. But then last week, Commerce beat Farmersville, and Edgewood has beaten Commerce. And I would have thought before now that at least with the classifications as wide as they are,
Yes.
that Wills Point would have, or that Farmersville would have handled Commerce.
Yeah.
So I think if Wills Point, they had a bad first game. They had a great second game
Against a good Crum team.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And this past week against Maybank, I don't think and I'll tell you, I'm raised by Carterelli. You can't get anything good from a loss, but they didn't. That was respectable.
Yes.
And I don't think I would look at Farmersville, who I think they're 2-1. I don't think I look at that and expect that we shouldn't, Wills Point shouldn't play a good game. Now here I am saying we, like I'm a part of Wills Point. And I don't know.
You do cover them.
I'm not going to go along with
No.
any part of it. But on the Harris rating system, it says that they're only about a two touchdown difference. And with the way Wills Point has played, and it's kind of, some really great times and some pretty bad ones. If they have a good game at home against Farmersville, I think that this is going to be a good game. And I'm predicting that it's a game that we're going to all be wanting to listen to or watch at the end of it, because I think it'll be a close game.
It sounds like the games that Wills Point has lost have been due to a number of mistakes that were big plays that swung the momentum and changed things a lot. And so 3 games in, it's still hard to tell what Wills Point is based on who they played and how those games have played out.
Right.
Let me also mention that it is not only homecoming night, Friday night for Fruitvale, it is homecoming night for the Tigers. So Wills Point will be hosting Farmersville. Their homecoming kickoff is at 7 o'clock. So if you're going to that game, keep in mind that's a 7 o'clock kickoff.
And David, you've been doing this A year or two.
A year or two, yes.
What's your opinion about homecoming games? Because I was raised that you don't want to have your tough opponents at homecoming, but then I've seen I've seen other schools that
Act like they don't care.
either they don't care or they want it to be their
Toughest opponent or
so
something?
they'll have everybody there. You know, what's your take, Dave?
Well, I think you have to look at the schedule breakdown. Not only the opponent, but what's the date of the game. I mean, I don't think you want to have your homecoming the first or second home game if you can avoid it. You'd like to have it a little bit deeper into the season. But then in most cases, most coaches I talk to, they don't want to do it, and Coach Moffitt is one of them. They will never do it during district season.
Oh, no. It's too big a distraction.
Yeah. So if I know for Van for sure, if it's homecoming, it's going to be a non-district game. And this year, it's their last non-district game when they play Brownsboro next week.
I'm like you, Joel. I was raised that you find a win on the schedule, and that's where you play homecoming. When I was a sophomore in high school, we played 7 homecoming games. do the math on that. We were everybody's homecoming opponent.
As a sophomore. He didn't say 7 years of homecoming. He said,
Well,
as a sophomore.
I got held back. I got held back a few times, Ken.
No, and I'll just tell you, growing up, when I was little, Grand Saline lost, and I remember what you're talking about. I saw a lot of homecoming moments as a little kid. I think Grand Saline went 0-10 and 1-9 and 2-8, and then finally when I grew up and had better memories, I didn't see as many homecoming moments. But yeah, I know what you're talking about there. But that's the way I always looked at it, and it confuses me sometimes when.
Hold on, did you hear what Joel said? When I became a winner. That didn't happen as much in Grand Saline.
I think I said when I got older, but maybe when Grand Saline started winning, I was a little older. But when I was little, we lost a lot.
He's still on it. Still on it.
Oh,
that's funny.
That's so long ago that nobody really remembers it. So.
Right. So they don't know if we're telling the truth or not.
Well, I mean,
it's before the internet.
Yeah.
There's no number for the years when that happened.
That's right.
Thank you for that, Ken.
They were Roman numerals
Yeah,
back then.
you're right.
So there you have Will's point.
Well, gentlemen, shall we move on to talk about some of our sponsors? And as we await the arrival.
No, let's go ahead and talk about Van right now.
Well, no, we're going to wait until our guest arrives.
That's right. I forgot all about that.
Ken.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some sponsors.
All right, let's do that right now. We are brought to you tonight by Austin Bank with branches in Van and Grand Saline. We're also brought to you by Exit Realty Pro at 1445 South Buffalo Street in Canton, 903-567-7777. We're brought to you by Epic Industrial, the power of service. Best of luck to all Van Zandt County High School football teams. We're also presented by the Dwayne Wheeler Farmers Insurance Agency at 121 West Main in Van, 903-963-8887. Auto, Home, Life, Business, Farm, and Ranch. We're also brought to you by Goods Service Station. Proud to support Van Vandal Football and Van Lady Vandal Volleyball. We sell service at Goods Service Station, 903-963-7848, located at 172 East Main in Van. They now carry farm diesel. And we're brought to you by Elliott and Waldron Abstract and Title Company of Canton, 681 West Dallas Street in Canton, 903-567-4127. I'm David Barber, Van Zandt News sports correspondent, joined by T.A. Hale from the Buzz Brothers, the counselor Joel Elliott. Engineer Ken is with us tonight. And as we await the arrival of Van Vandal head football coach Jared Moffitt, let's move on and talk about another one of our teams. And gentlemen, which direction should we go now?
We can talk Canton.
All right.
We can talk Canton.
The undefeated Canton.
That's right, the undefeated Canton Eagles. And we just talked a little Wills Point Tigers, and that there's kind of some crossover there because their common opponent, that's who Canton plays this week. But as it was last week, Canton went to Parish North Lamar, and they took that one 49-0. It was Parish North Lamar's homecoming. And, the Eagles ran their record to 3-0, and my takeaway from that is they went over there and did what good teams do. You beat a lesser opponent, decisively. There was no question whatsoever.
Like a drum.
Yeah, I mean, and no disrespect meant, but Canton went over there in all 3 phases. They took care of business, and there was never any question whatsoever. And really, that's about all you can say. So I'll give you some stats, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up on Friday night. Court Ray was back. He had missed the second week, and he was back in full force. He was 14 of 21, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had a total of 269 yards of offense and was involved in 5 touchdowns. So Court Ray came back, and he was true to form. Rushing, you had Kason Kewen, and we call him Genghis Kewen, by the way. It's my favorite nickname now. He ran it 6 times for 88 yards. Pretty good yards per carry there, 14 yards per carry. So 88 yards and a touchdown. Conrad Bastien, he ran it 6 times for 45 yards. Andreas Galan ran it 7 times for 22 yards. He also handled the kicking duties, and he was perfect, 7 of 7 on extra points, and that is what Canton struggled on in week 2. So Mighty Mouse took care of that. Receiving, you had, and man, Canton has got a really strong receiving group. You had Ethan Lewis. He had 6 catches for 44 yards. Kason French, 5 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. And he's playing both ways almost every snap. So he's in really good shape by now. Eli Boggs, the freshman, 2 catches, 20 yards, and a touchdown. And rushing, you got Bryson Prox, had 1 carry, 10 yards, but he made it count. It was a touchdown. And I'm just going to predict that won't be Bryson Prox's last touchdown. He's a wrecking ball, guys. He is a load. He wears number 40. I wish they would talk to him about wearing number 44, because he reminds you a little bit of Robert Newhouse. I don't know. I might talk to him if I get a chance. So let's see. Braden Hawkins had an interception. Jacob Ecord, he was the defensive player of the game. He was all over the place. He had a great night. Brendan Moore led the way with 12 tackles. Carson Hawkins, 9 tackles. Branson Chamblee had 8 tackles. And so everybody got involved in the win on Friday night. And the Eagles run the record to 3-0, but now you got the 2-1 Panthers coming to town. Now, the Panthers have a new coach. It's Coach Sean Copeland, and he brought with him his son, who's a senior. That's Jackson with an X. That's how they spell it these days. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. Jackson.
Remember, we had Jackson Moffitt last year.
Right.
The same way.
It's with an X now. So he's a difference maker. 2-way threat. He can run it. He can throw it. Maybank runs the spread offense now. They're pretty darn balanced. They got some good receivers, good running backs. I think this has a chance. I think that Norris Birdwell Field could be a packed stadium on Friday night. It's been a long time since these two teams have played each other when both programs are up.
Right.
It just has. It's the way it's worked out. Canton has won 3 of the last 5, and Canton has won. If you go all the way back to 2019, Maybank has only won. Well, they won 3 of 7, I guess, but.
Now, I'm going to jump in real quick. If you just let me interject here, because I was an Eagle.
Denied.
Until my son graduated.
Denied.
Denied.
Fine. Jump
in our COVID year of 2020, I believe it was.
Yeah. I know what you're going to say. Thank you.
And I don't care. I mean, you may have.
It's worth noting. It's worth noting.
He says, I don't care.
I'll tell you right now. You know the old Coach Hayes that said, "Why'd you go for 2?" He said, "Because I couldn't go for 3." If I were Canton, I would score 100 points if I could score 100 points against Maybank. Because I'll tell you, when they canceled a game for COVID and rescheduled with another team,
Van Alstyne,
and in my opinion, lied.
Hey, let's just
about
call it what it is.
So we went and played Sanger, and Sanger was good, and we had a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great game. But ever since, because I didn't care about Maybank, I didn't have a reason not to like them. I hate Maybank. I hate Maybank, and if Canton can beat them 100-0, I hope they beat them 100-0. And I wouldn't bother me if they said go for 2 on all of them.
Joel, I'm glad you're one that doesn't carry a grudge.
Yeah, and now I love Joel again. I almost didn't love him right there, but now I'm back.
You know, without Joel Joel, I had forgotten all about that, and I was about to just say that the Canton-Maybank, the Highway 198 rivalry, it is alive and well. It's not just in football; it's in basketball too.
100%.
I mean, it was chippy last year in basketball, and so the Maybank girls, the volleyball girls, play Canton at Canton. So the parents will already be at the girls' game there, and Maybank will just travel. I expect that place to be packed, and I expect this to be a really, really great game. It's going to be a fun night. It'll be the first time that I feel like Canton has been challenged this year. And you going to say something, Joel?
I don't want to. I think they're going to beat the snot out of Maybank.
We're going to beat the snot out of you.
Just tell you right now. So according to the Harris rating system, Canton should beat Maybank better than what everybody's thinking. It is a rivalry game. That's one of those you just kind of you throw all the records out and everything. But man, I hate Maybank.
Canton is wearing the all black uniforms on Friday night.
And
So they're bringing those out.
Canton has black uniforms?
All black, yeah.
So there's no forest green?
On the letters, I think, only.
Only?
And
And
so-
we won't be able to see that on the green.
Well, we'll just have to figure it out.
It
But
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
You need to make an eye appointment so we can call the game. I'm just saying. You and Tommy? Yeah, y'all need to do that.
When my kid went to Canton, I tried to convince Matt Dunn that we needed black uniforms, and they wouldn't do it. Regal shows up, we got black uniforms, and here I am a we again. I love the black
I do
uniforms,
too.
and I hope
It makes a statement. I'm not saying like you're the villain, but it means you're there with purpose and bad
appropriately
intentions.
dressed in
Yeah,
black.
yeah, exactly.
I'm here with a porpoise. I
Right.
have no idea what dolphins have to do with this whole thing, but whatever.
Our special guest is just arriving, so before
Perfect
we get
timing.
to him,
All right.
let me just say this about Canton and Maybank. I talked to Coach Regal yesterday, and I asked him, I said, is this rivalry as strong as it's ever been? And he said he believes so, because he said it just continues through the years. These kids have competed against each other in Pee Wee football, Little League baseball, basketball, whatever, through the years. And he said it's always been competitive. It will be very competitive Friday night.
It's not just one sport.
It's not
and
just one sport.
The other sports fuel the others, and it just keeps it going. And I love it.
We played flag football in Maybank when Jacob and John Garrett and that whole crew, Jabraylin and that whole crew were little kids, and there was almost parents fighting at the Little League games. So I'm telling you, it's
Oh,
the
man.
kids, it's the parents, and this is what makes high school football great.
Isn't it? I mean, the rivalry thing, this would be boring without the rivalries. This is what makes it so much fun.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Coach
if I
Moffitt.
could take a moment.
I was going to introduce it.
I know, but I wanted to interrupt
Okay,
you.
go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest here on 95.1 KWJB. The one, the only David Barber is going to introduce the one and only who is now here. David C., I left you open, buddy.
Man, I
Go right
appreciate
ahead.
that. It is our pleasure to welcome to the microphone Van Vandal head football coach Jared Moffitt. Thank you for being here, sir. We appreciate it. That's all right. We thank you for being here.
I thought I was about to get like a Pat McAfee introduction. Talking about you the whole time.
I had to. I was going to get shot at my-
Ken's tricky.
Yeah. Now ask Ken who Pat McAfee is.
Yeah.
Well, he is the guy who invented the antivirus software.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I got messed up in that. Y'all go ahead.
Now, Coach, you're in your 16th year.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that? Now, TA, you know what that means. That means he's had to deal with me for 16 years.
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway,
Coach Moffitt, I told David earlier, I said we used to talk about who was the most tenured coach in Van Zandt County.
Okay.
And we hadn't talked about that in a long time.
Yeah.
you're it.
That's hard to believe. Of course, you've been all 16. Of course, as you guys know, Dave's been covering band football for like 40-something years, I think.
44.
44.
Now,
Unbelievable.
He's been here since 1847.
There's no doubt. He's been around. He's seen a lot of band football, but 16 years of it with me. And that's a long time. I was just telling Coach Parrish, David, the other day, we have some guys on this team that weren't born
Yeah.
when I got the van.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about that.
That's true.
I don't like thinking about it. I don't like it. The twins
Sounds
were
like
4.
you've been thinking about
yeah,
it.
the twins were 4 when we got the van.
My goodness.
They're in college, so anyway, it has been a long time. You're right.
A lot of good years.
It has been.
All right. Well, let's get this out of the way right now.
All right.
Let's talk about last Friday night.
Okay.
And,
Let's do it.
and I'm just going to open the floor and let you talk about the game, your thoughts.
Yeah,
If you look
yeah.
back on it.
Yeah.
Another foul on the floor.
Yeah, no doubt. We lost. I don't know if y'all knew that. We lost. We didn't win. It was I think for a spectator, it was a great game to watch. Obviously a lot of points scored, 56-49. And as you know, those games with Linda have turned into that type of game.
Yeah.
One-score games the last 6 years in a row. And almost every single one of those games have come down to the last possession, just like this game did.
Right.
And actually, this game, even to the last play, we thought if we'd have got that play off and got the pitch off, we might have broken that thing down the sideline. But it was a great game, and I don't know that you'd find a better game in East Texas than that game the other night, and lived up to its billing. That game has become a special week, and the communities are involved. The crowds are really good on both sides. It's you've heard me say, David, a playoff-like atmosphere, a lot of emotions involved, and you just can't recreate that. And so it's one of my favorite weeks because of the environment involved in that game, and those games have become really good games. Obviously, we hated to lose, and did a lot of good things. We had our chances, and just came up short, and could have gone the other way. But the last 5 games, whoever won the last 5, it could have gone the other way, and whoever lost, and that's just kind of how that game has become. So it was a great game, and Coach Florence used to always tell us, if you want to learn about your team, you got to play good people, and when you play talented teams, they reveal your weaknesses, and no doubt there are a lot of things that we still have to improve upon, but I like where our team is, and we had a lot of questions to answer with this team coming into the season after graduating a lot of players, and so I really appreciate where these guys are and where this team is, and one of the things that I feel good about is we, by far, haven't played our best football. We really haven't. And I don't know that we've played a complete game yet in all 3 phases of the game. And so that gives me a lot of hope for this group that we have because there's still a lot of room for improvement.
You enter this season needing to replace 20 seniors from last year. And you've obviously had a lot of young players in the lineup. But how would you assess your team now after 3 ball games with all of these new faces in the lineup?
Well, it's like I said, we knew we had a bunch of questions to answer, and we had some players. We had some players back too. We had 3 offensive linemen, and Collier Bryant and Carter Broyles and Landon Robinson, and those guys have. We knew we were going to have to lean on those guys up front early, and those guys have done a really good job, and got 2 sophomores playing with them as well. But those guys have done well and led us, and. Obviously a new quarterback and Raleigh Hinch, and man, if you missed his game the other night, you missed a spectacular performance. And you and I talked about it. There haven't been many games that I can recall where a Van quarterback played any better than Raleigh did the other night, and that's it. That's in his 3rd start, and so man, I knew Raleigh was going to be a good player, and he's got a lot of attributes that we knew was going to make him good. I don't know that we could have predicted, him playing that way. He just played lights out the other night and kind of made a bunch of plays to keep us in the game and give us a chance to win. And so you start going through where we are as a team on offense and answering the questions on defense and with the guys that we have. And so, like I said, I feel real good about where we're at. And because I know with this schedule too, we played 4 games. I'm sitting here. We played 3 games at 2-1, and all of these teams we played could have beaten us. And we played some close games, and the first 2 were close too. And so the fact that we were able to win those 2 and played really good against Lindale the other night in a great football game. And I think that sets us up, to close out non-district these last 2 weeks and then get focused on our district schedule.
You know, one of the things I noticed, and I listened to the last quarter and a half of the game.
Yeah, you know why? It's because our game is like 4 hours.
That's right.
I told somebody the other night that we played longer than the Cowboys and the Giants did on Sunday.
We went in at halftime, and I felt like we had played a full game at halftime. And, it was humid, and the guys were gassed. And I thought, man, we've got 2 quarters left to play. I hope we have something left in the tank. I'm sure a bunch of people listened to the end of that game because their game had been done for an hour.
The thing I noticed was all the names were different, but the result was the same.
Yeah.
And that says something, Coach. It's a next man up mentality, and that's Van football.
No, I really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
And like I said, we had a bunch of questions to answer, and these guys have come in and answered them, and we're getting contributions from a lot of places. Connor Ammons played really good at receiver the other night. He had 7 catches and 2 touchdowns, and he's played really well for us the first 3 weeks. And Cash Walker's making some plays, and Aiden Willis at receiver, and Ian Hobson had 2 big catches. So, again, guys that didn't have any catches last year for us, and I do appreciate that. And that's kind of the mentality I always talk about when I talk about Van football. And I can say this because I've been there for 16 years. It's, I've watched it year after year, and one of the things that makes Van football special is the mentality of the players, and I always say that stems from the mentality of the community. Van people are tough-minded and hard-nosed and mentally tough, and they don't mind fighting. Definitely don't back away from one, and that's kind of been the mentality of our teams. And I think if the things I hear about when people talk about Van, even back at the Coach Fowler days, that's the nature of those teams too. I was talking to a friend of ours that coached at Mineola. His name is Larry Sherman. He was at our Pine Tree game, and he was talking about a night at Mineola. David, I'm sure you were at this game, but he said that Van rolled in, that they weren't there. It was getting late. Van hadn't showed up yet, and the bus rolled in, and they walked off the bus suited up straight to pregame. And he said the Mineola kids were scared to death, and they got out there and they ran the same play. He said, Coach, they ran the same play. I don't think they ran more than one play the whole night, just ran it right at us. And he said, the Van kids are just different. And, I think after being in Van for 16 years, I kind of get an understanding. I always say our kids find a way to play better than they are. And it's just really their mentality. And like I said, it comes from the community, and I've been really fortunate to be a part of it for 16 years.
And people who don't think that's connected, the community and the kids and the coaches and the culture and the toughness, they're wrong. It makes a difference.
You're right.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
It's, and again, every place is different. Every place is different. And like I said, we're really fortunate to have that in Van. And I tell people all the time, I'd love to take credit for creating that. But that blue collar, tough mindset has been in Van for a long time.
Now,
We've been fortunate.
I will say what I do think you've created, because you were saying they ran it into us over and over and over. Well, David showed me an email that came last week because I had made a comment about how long has it been since Van took a snap under center?
Oh, I know the answer.
I do too.
I know the answer. It's my cousin. It's my nephew.
Is that right?
Yes. Micah McMillan.
There you go.
2003.
I'm sure that's probably right. I know it hasn't been in 16 years. Yeah, we would fumble it if we took one of those.
Well, don't do that.
No.
No, but that's one of the things, and we talk about this every year, and it's just one of the things that I think y'all do right over there. I mean, you've got the kids start in 7th grade or whenever you get a hold of them, sure. And by the time they get in high school, they're focusing on what they need to do, not what they have to do. They've got the system down. It's muscle memory. They're doing what they're doing, and I kind of think, and that's one of the things that I love and hate about Van.
Sure, right.
Is it seems like it's the old saying, you don't rebuild, you reload. I mean, you got the same people running the same stuff, and when you think, I mean, it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, whenever everybody was like, well, what are they going to do now? Well, same thing they've been doing. And that's one thing that it just seems like that Van has always done, at least since I've been coming on this show. It's the same thing, just plugging in holes with the next guy up.
Well, like I said, man, I really do. I appreciate that. It means a lot. And I hope that we can continue to do that, and we have been fortunate to do that. And I think a lot of it, too, is also, Coach Rainey's been the defensive coordinator. Coach Rainey's been coaching in Van for, I mean, 10 years, 12 years. I lose track of how long some of these guys have been here. We've been really fortunate to have a bunch of our coaches stay for a long time. And so, when you got a guy like Coach Rainey running the defense, and like you said, these guys do the same thing for a long time, and that allows them to get comfortable doing that. And so they become good at doing that one thing, which allows them to play better than they are because they have the mindset they have to play. And, so all of it plays together. And, I talked about the community of Van too. And, one of the things I love about Van too, Rusty Smith has been running Van youth football since way before I got there. And, Rusty does a great job with those kids. And he's always telling those kids, you're tougher than everybody else and you're going to play harder than everybody else. And, you hear that enough. My kids played for Rusty. They loved him. All 4 of my kids loved Coach Rusty. And I think, again, it goes back to what we talked about. Man, there's a lot of factors that have played into the things that we've been able to accomplish over the years at Van, and we're really fortunate to be a part of it.
Well, now you've played 3 games. All you have to do this week is go play a team that you beat twice last season. And I'm guessing that probably by now they've been reminded a few times over there about the fact that Van beat them twice last season. So your thoughts on the trip to Sunnyvale Friday night?
Well, you're right. They've done a really good job at Sunnyvale, and Coach Stutz took over, I guess a couple of years ago for Coach Settle when Coach Settle retired. And I've been real impressed with their program over the years. And we haven't played them very often, but 3 times now. This will be 4. But they've done a really good job over there. And you're right. We were fortunate to beat them 2 times last year, and that playoff game could have gone the other way. We were, you were there, and that was back and forth game, and just battled it out and found a way to win. But I fully expect them to be motivated to play us after last year and losing in the playoffs and in such a close game. And they have a bunch of those kids back. And they've got a good football team. They're 3-0. They're playing really well. I'm really impressed with their quarterback. The Maupin kid plays. Man, he's a good football player. He's a junior. He grew up, and I felt like we kind of watched him grow up from week 4 last year to when we played him in the 3rd round of the playoffs. He was a different player. But they do a great job coaching. They do a great job coaching over there, and their kids play hard. They're kind of similar to us, I would say, in terms of the way they look and their ability. So it should be a really good game, and I know that we're going to have to play well. And you know that. Anytime we don't play well, we're in trouble. So we're going to have to play well and take care of the football. All those things for us are always real important. But Sunnyvale's going to be ready to go, and I think our kids will be ready to play as well.
It's going to be another good one.
It should be.
No rest.
Well, that's the schedule, and David and I talk a lot about the non-district schedule and how those come about. Sometimes people don't realize how they come about. I always try to explain myself to David, hoping he can get the word out. So, why are we playing Dallas Carter? I'm like, well, this is why. And so these schedules, they're good teams. I mean, we're playing good teams all throughout the deal, and that's just the way it works sometimes. And so, yeah, this will be another tough football game. It'll be physical, and we're beat up. We played 3 physical 4-quarter football games. We've had to play every down of every game, man, you get beat up. You get beat up playing these physical games, and so we've got some guys that are beat up a little bit, but these guys that suit up and they'll be ready to play, and they'll get after it.
I want to give you a chance to talk about your district. I mean, all you have to do is play people like Gilmer and Texarkana Pleasant Grove.
I know he was just talking about being beat up, and I'm like, how's it going to fit for district?
Hey, man.
I didn't want to ask that question. Thank you.
We need the bye week. We always need the bye week, and you're fortunate when you have a schedule like this that the bye week comes before district, because we'll need it. We really will. We'll need it. Like I said, we do have some guys that are beat up a little bit, but our district's going to be our district. Like we were. I watched Texas play Ohio State first game of the year, and that defensive end from Pleasant Grove was playing. That guy that we got in his way, I would say the guy that we blocked. I don't know if we blocked him very many times. We did try to get in his way. He's playing for the University of Texas. I'm like, man. But anyway, Pleasant Grove's really good, as you guys know, and you've seen their scores, and they do a great job over there with their program, and been good for a long time. And I know everybody's talking about Gilmer, I think, and wondering where's Gilmer at and how they're going to be, and the score with the Kilgore game. And I know this: the guys at Gilmer have not forgotten how to coach. Coach Metchell is a great coach and does an unbelievable job, and the guys on his staff, they know exactly what they're doing, and they still have plenty of talent. I promise you, they'll be at the state track meet this year. I promise. They got plenty of talent, plenty of speed, and plenty of pride. And expectations, and so everybody that thinks, well, Gilmer's all of a sudden terrible, I hate to tell them they're not. and they'll get this figured out, and they'll be a tough team to beat. I know that because I've yet to beat them, as you know, David. I think we're maybe 0-6 in 16 years, and we've been close, but, I mean, close doesn't do anything for you. It's just another loss. So they're going to be tough, and like I said, Pittsburgh's 3-0 with the new coach, and they're playing well. Spring Hill, I've always impressed with Spring Hill and the job that they've done over there at Spring Hill in the last couple of years. And then you got North Lamar, and so this is going to be tough. I mean, there's nothing easy about what's in front of us. And like I said, I feel good about where this team is, and we're not where we're going to be. We're probably about where we need to be right now. Besides the injuries are going to be an issue. We got to get healthy, but there's a lot of room for improvement, which gives me a lot of hope for what this team can accomplish moving forward.
Well, Coach, I have a quick question for you on our YouTube chat here.
Okay.
Alex Hook says, how is DeCavian, number 0, doing
Yeah.
after his injury late in the game Friday
Yeah.
versus Lindale? He has an incredible year for us so far and has stepped up big. How's that going?
That's a great question. First of all, DeQuavian, we call him Q. Man, he's run good this year. And, he played corner for us all last year. He's played a bunch of corner this year, and he's played running back. And man, he stepped in, had some huge runs. Had that 77-yard run against Lindale the other night, and caught the ball out of the backfield for another big touchdown. Had another big night for us before he got hurt there in the fourth quarter. And so he's got an MCL sprain. And those MCL sprains, you kind of don't know. My son Austin, one of our running backs last year, he sprained his against Pleasant Grove when that giant defensive end tackled him. And so you just never know. There are different degrees with those sprains, and sometimes you can play immediately with them, and sometimes it takes a little bit. And luckily for us, we know he'll be back. He's and so whether he's back this week or not kind of remains to be seen, and have to play that by ear.
Well, hey, Coach, thanks for taking that question from Alex. And Alex, thank you for chiming in here.
I think he's
on our
here.
YouTube chat.
Yes, he's here.
Don't he? Oh,
That's my cousin.
Here I am trying to be all cool and stuff, and you guys just blow it all out right there.
That's great. It's a good question too.
He was going to get that question in no matter what.
It is.
No matter- even
And
if
hey,
it-
Alex,
He's about
we've
to come over here
been
and grab
wondering
you
the
by the
same thing,
collar.
Alex. We've been wondering the same thing, man. Hey, how y'all think Q's going to be? Is he going to play this week? What do y'all think? We've had the same question, just so you know.
That's awesome.
Now, I told Coach Moffitt this morning when I interviewed him for the paper, I said between then and now, I was going to try to come up with better questions. So I'm going to give you a question I didn't bring up this morning.
Okay.
So outside of football, this doesn't have anything to do with football.
Okay.
But you and your wife, Amy, are experiencing being empty nesters.
Yeah.
All 4 of your kids are out of the house. They're either in college or in the workforce. What's it like being an empty nester?
Well, I got to be careful with that answer because there's a number of factors that go into that. The first factor is I don't like it because I miss the boys. I mean, I miss those guys. We had so much fun. I'm really fortunate. I think I see some people sometimes, and I don't know if they like their kid.
Well, sometimes I fit that.
And they can't wait for him to graduate. And I can't wait for this kid to get out of the house.
I
And
feel that way about Joel.
well, I mean, it's it can go that way. And so I've been real fortunate. And man, I love those guys. And I would say they're probably some of my best friends. I just love being around them. They were always around. And you're watching a game. You got a game on TV, and one of those clowns are watching it with you, which makes it fun. So I miss them at the house. Obviously, I miss them at the football field too. We spent so much time together. And, real fortunate to have that relationship and to have all that time. I was talking to one of them when I pulled up today, and he's at A&M, and so yeah, I miss those. And then I miss the boys, and then people who have entered into this phase of life. I guess you have to somewhat reintroduce yourself to your wife. Amy and I, we've been married for almost 29 years. I tell people that she was 13 when we got married. It's not true. But we've been married a long time.
Let me get you my card.
Yeah, we've been married. We've been married a long time, and but we've been raising kids for Jake's 24. You've been raising kids for 24 years, and that's what you've done. You guys with kids, I mean, it's a full-time job, and I'll never forget when we were pregnant with Jayton, and people tell you. Hey, your life's going to change. And, I remember thinking, I tell the story all the time. Like, I know my life's going to change when I'm having a kid. I know. You have to tell me that. I know. And then that kid's born. And I remember we're driving home from the hospital, and I'm looking at the car seat thinking, man, we are responsible for this thing. You know, I don't think there are very many things in life that you are least or less prepared for to do than to
nothing.
be a parent.
Yeah.
Well,
You go into the hospital, they send you home a couple days later with a kid. I'm like, I don't have a manual. I don't have anything. And so, yeah, 24 years later, they're all gone. So you've been raising kids and spending all that time, and you guys all know that. And
as far as the empty nest thing goes, the good news is they're never really gone. Okay, they're never really gone.
Is that the good news?
Maybe
I
it
get
is,
different
maybe it's not.
opinions from some
Depends on
different
the
people on
day.
that. Yeah.
We
But
need to
then, you know,
really
you
evaluate.
turn around and those my two boys, they're out of the house now, doing well. Now they're my best friends.
There you go, yeah.
And you're enjoying them in a different phase of life, in a different way, and it's fulfilling.
No doubt. As long as I can quit paying for them.
Oh, that's it, right. That's the bonus.
If I can just quit paying for these clowns, maybe we'll make it.
But
When you figure that out, let us know that.
yeah. Now, you also miss them when it's time to do yard work.
That's true, boy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Heck yeah. I'm my own yard crew again, and I hadn't been that way in, you
Yeah.
know, I don't know, 15 years.
All right.
These guys have been mowing forever, so you're right.
Coach, our roving reporter, Scott Myers, has chimed in and said, what's your concern facing Sunnyvale?
Well, I mean, like I said, Sunnyvale, they do a great job coaching. They've got a really good coaching staff. And offensively, man, their offense runs through the quarterback. And they're good up front. The running backs are good. They got receivers. But that quarterback makes them go. He's such a good player. He's one of those guys, it's 3rd and 8, and you cover everybody up, and he scrambles for 9, you know, and first down. And he's a player. He's a great football player, and he gives you all sorts of problems on offense. And then, you know, defensively, they do a great job coaching defense, and you know their front is they've got a good front, and their linebackers are solid, and you know they don't give you much easy stuff in the back end either. So they're a complete football team. They got a great kicker. He's going to kick it, I think, out of the end zone every time he kicks off. You're going to start on the 25. There's no doubt about that. And so, man, they are a complete football team with some really good football players, and they're motivated to play you after the last 2 years. So I got plenty to worry about when it comes to Sunnyvale.
Well, go ahead. Okay. Well, I was teasing Ken when I came in tonight. I said, by the way, we're doing a 2-hour show. The first hour is going to be with Coach Moffitt. And then the second hour, we'll talk about everybody else in Van Zandt County.
What I didn't realize is it would be the first hour them talking about everybody else, the
There
second
you
hour
go.
talking to
That's
Coach
right.
Moffitt.
That's right.
And then, hey, and the good news is we have people chiming in asking Coach Moffitt questions.
There we
here
go.
on the Huddle
Okay.
Show.
But I guess it's time we need to let him go. And what are you going to do when you leave here tonight? You going home or are you going?
Well, I'm going home to an empty house, as you know, just me and Amy. Maybe Amy made some dinner. I think she said on the way over there she was cooking some dinner. You know, she doesn't cook like she used to when she had all the boys. I find myself having to fend for myself every now and then. I don't know what that
I'm
means.
so glad-
but
She's taking a
we're gonna
break.
find some dinner. I know that.
I'm so glad she's not listening to the show tonight to hear
Well, I'm sure
that.
she is. I'm sure she's listening to every bit of
Lord
this.
have mercy
I'll
on
probably
your
hear
soul.
about
She
it.
can watch the replay.
I'll
on
hear about it when
YouTube
I get
if she
home.
missed that.
Oh, Lord have mercy on your soul. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, I'll tell you this. A couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, they all run together now. It seemed like a lot of people made the comment to me, "Your poor wife," and I didn't really take that as a compliment. The more people told me, I'm like, well, that's not a compliment. I think I'm hard to live with, and they're right. They're right. Amy's been putting up with me for a long time.
So basically, the realization has set in.
I'll tell you what, the realization that has become, I think as you get older, anyway for me, I don't want to speak for anybody else. I always thought that I was real self-aware. And then the older I got, I realized that my perception of myself wasn't necessarily anyone else's. So I think what
You're not
come to
alone in
learn
that.
is I'm the one that's been wrong this
You're
whole
not
time.
alone in
So,
that.
Yeah,
You have now reached the reality of adult life.
here we are. It took a while, but here we are.
Coach, we can't thank you enough for being
Oh,
here.
yeah, anytime.
We wish you well
Definitely.
Friday night and beyond. And come back and see us anytime you'd like to.
Anytime. I always enjoy visiting with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Coach, thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach. Go
I'll
home
see
and
you
get some
Friday
rest.
night.
You notice how
Relax
Joel
a little
didn't
bit.
say anything in the whole process? He didn't say thank you or anything.
No.
It's a long-term. Oh, wait, okay. All right, so peace has just been made in the world.
Oh, no.
All
One of the
world
rare
hatred is
times-
now ended.
If it weren't for
I
rivalries.
love to hate Van.
Now, wait a minute.
I mean, I love Van. That's the way it
One of
is.
the rare times
That's
that
what
Van
makes it
and
great.
Grant Saline
Have
can get
shook
along.
hands.
Yeah, shook hands, got
Well,
along.
and I'll tell you this, Coach. When I left the game in Grand Saline the other night, like everybody else, I turned on the Van game, and I was a little bit upset with myself because I was rooting for y'all to catch that hitch and pitch, and in fact I texted David and I said I almost like I was arguing with myself in the truck.
Well, you're admitting
But
that.
I really was. That was such a, for a spectator, and just listening to it, because I was listening to it back and forth while I was watching the Grand Saline game. That was just like we were talking about earlier. It was just punching back and forth. And
Hey, that's beautiful. As a matter of fact, in this whole conversation right now, the chat on YouTube, there's a bunch of hearts following right now. And what it actually says is, I don't know, I'm going to say the name wrong. It's T-A-V-O. I would think of Taco. I would think of Tavo. Tavo? Yeah, he says, let's go red.
there you go.
Right. Thanks, Coach.
See you, Coach.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. That was Van head football coach Jared Moffitt joining us, and we always
Well, he still is.
He's always a great
Don't say
interview.
don't say it past tense.
A
He
great
still
interview.
is.
and TA. I will say he's always a great interview.
Yes.
Anytime, anywhere.
Yes, no
I
doubt.
have the pleasure of visiting with him every Tuesday during the football season. It's great, and I learn a lot about football, but I also learn something about life in general when I'm with him. So it's always a pleasure being with him. Why don't we talk about some more of our sponsors before we talk about some more of our Van Zandt County football teams? And we want to say thank you to Legacy Dental Group, family dentistry, cosmetic dentistry, oral surgery, orthodontics, sedation dentistry, 240 East Highway 243 in Canton, 903-508-2923. We're brought to you by the Rick John State Farm Insurance Agency at 100 North 4th Street in Wills Point, 903-873-2858, Auto, Home, Life, and Health. We're brought to you by Robertson Electric, commercial and residential air conditioning and heating service. Free estimates, 2 locations. Wills Point is 903-873-2461. Terrell is 972-563-5254. And we're brought to you by M Square Property Management Company at 1455 South Buffalo Street in Canton, 903-502-0202. We're brought to you by Legacy Ag Credit, financing your legacy, rural land, country homes, operating capital, farms and ranches, livestock and equipment, 903-567-2251. And we're brought to you by Hall Chevrolet GMC at 385 West Dallas Street in Canton, 903-567-4106. I'm David Barber, Van Zandt News Sports correspondent, joined by T.A. Hale from the Buzz Brothers, the counselor Joel Elliott. Engineer Ken is with us, and Engineer Ken, do you have a word you need to share?
I've got a couple of words.
All right.
The, was, and did. Those are the 3 words. But I have something else to share. A couple of things. Number one, we're at the Native Sun here on the corner of Buffalo and Dallas. Sorry, we're there. That's where we're at. I invite you to come out and join us. Tonight we've had Coach Moffitt out, which is always a good time. You guys are always doing a great job, although I ride you hard like Seattle Slew about making sure we're out on time.
It's because you love us.
Well, yeah, let's go with that. But on the other side of that, we've actually opened up our YouTube chat to be able to chime in with different people saying different things. And here's something, another thing I want to throw out there. By the way, come to the Native Sun. That's where we're at on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. Now let me get back there. The Knowles family said Van's Pee Wee program is a huge part of building those players up too. We were grateful to be a part of that before moving to Canton. So I'm not really sure how those two are going to work together, but they're trying. The Knowles family is trying to put together Van and Canton all in the same deal for roofing and football. That's all I got. That's all I got with it.
Well, all I'll say is I married a Canton girl, so I can tell you, Van and Canton can coexist in certain situations.
No doubt.
See, David, and that's what we needed to know is that it's actually possible. And so what you're saying is you married a Canton girl and she's always right. So Canton is always right.
Well, according to her, yes. And of course, I've been married for 26 years, and I've learned by now that I do get in the last word. Yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
That's right.
All right. Well, see, and
Smart
you
man.
just heard that from David Barber, who knows all, sees all, tells all. If you check out the local paper, I'm just saying.
Thank you very much for that promo.
Did I do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
did.
you did. I think you did. TA, I'm not sure we got everything in you wanted to share about Canton, but we do need to know your broadcast schedule.
And then we still got Edgewood
And we still got
cover.
Edgewood and Grant Saline. So
Okay, so
take it away.
So the Canton kickoff is 7:30 at Norris Birdwell Field. Pregame 7:15 on Friday night.
And you and Coach Day.
That's right. Myself and touchdown Tommy Day.
All right.
On the call.
Okay, very good. All right, gentlemen, which direction you want to go now?
Well, let's talk about Edgewood.
Okay.
As they continue their murderer's row of a pre-district schedule. There's no rest for those guys. They're coming off a loss to a really good Troop team last week, a close loss. And they had Tioga coming to town. And so they knew that Tioga was going to be a tough opponent. And this one kind of started off like that. Both teams scored on their first possession. I think Edgewood led, I think they were up 15-8 at halftime. So, things are going as you would have expected. And then Edgewood opened up a two-score lead in the third quarter. And actually, Tommy and I were on our way home from the Paris North Lamar game, and we listened. And it really had the feel that Edgewood had this one, well in hand. And I think the score, I could be wrong, maybe it was 37-16 or 36-17. So then starting the fourth quarter, I think Tioga scored on a big play and cut the lead down some. Attempted an onside kick, did not get it. Edgewood, on fourth down, lined up to go for it. They were going to try a hard count, and there was a miscommunication of some kind. The ball got snapped, and they turned it over on downs there in the middle of the field, gave Tioga a short field. Tioga goes down and scores, and all of a sudden we got a one-score ball game. Tioga attempts an onside kick, gets it, and they drive it down, and as time expires, the Bulldogs hold at the goal line.
Wow.
And from what I hear, it wasn't just the goal line. It was like if you had replay, you don't know if they got in or not, but Edgewood got the win. So that one had the feel of kind of coasting in the third quarter to all the fireworks started in the fourth quarter. I didn't know that all this had happened until I got home, and about midnight I was scanning through the scores and saw 37-34, and it was too late to call anybody then. I thought, what in the world happened? And I asked Eric about it. I said, did they just make it look closer than it was? He said, heck no, we were lucky to get out of there. But the Bulldogs hung on and got a much-needed bounce-back win. Yeah. So they pushed their record to 2-1, and I'll go over some stats here before we get to their next opponent. Trevor Golightly, he continues to put up numbers, 23 of 36, 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, had a 116 quarterback rating. Rushing, Lucas Pippin ran it 14 times for 73 yards. Now, that's less production than he has been putting out. So you can tell that Tioga keyed in and tried to find a way to stop the Edgewood running game. Edgewood's really been leaning on Pippin. He did score a touchdown rushing. On the receiving end, Jatham Johnson had 6 catches for 97 yards. Aiden Fincher, who's a name that we've been calling the last couple of weeks, he had 5 receptions, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Tony Smith only had 2 catches for 62 yards, but he made them count because they were both touchdowns. And then Treston Turner, 3 catches, 29 yards, and a touchdown. So they rushed for a total of 127 yards. Then through the air, 306 yards, a total of 433 yards of offense. So altogether, a pretty good night for the Bulldogs. Got the win against a really good Tioga team. But now it gets no easier. And you've got the number 15th ranked Palmer Bulldogs coming to town at 3-0. And now we already know a little bit about Palmer, Joel. The Grant Saline has already played them, so I'm going to let you weigh in some here. This will be their. You could say this is their toughest test of the year. Would you say maybe?
I agree with that.
The Troop game was tough at Troop, but altogether, the Palmer Bulldogs come in at 3-0, and
that's not to say I do think that Edgewood. I think that it's going to be close. I think that Edgewood's not going to be outgunned or anything, but Palmer will be a good test.
Oh yeah, Palmer beat Grant Saline 45-38, so that was a high-scoring game and a close game. Well, and you paid close attention, Joel. What would you say are some of the things the Bulldogs need to do to have some success?
hit the quarterback.
I heard you say that.
Hit the quarterback, and then after they finish, then they need to hit the quarterback. that kid is really good, and he will. It's one of those things where he's able to carry the momentum for his team, and when things look like they're kind of going bad, he will break some of the craziest tackles. So if Edgewood wraps up, and if Edgewood will actually, as Coach Moffitt said, he needs to be beat up a little bit.
Yeah.
And if Edgewood does that, then I think they'll be fine. I think they'll win. But he is good. He's really good.
Well, Palmer's ranked ahead of Edgewood, and Palmer's 3A Division I.
Right.
So they're a classification above. This will be the Edgewood Bulldogs' toughest test, and they seem up to the task. They have not been outmatched this year. So that one is at yes, that is at Edgewood. That's a 7:30 kickoff. So we wish Coach Bachdel and the Bulldogs the very best, and we'll all be tuned in for that one.
Now we have another special guest that just walked in.
Oh, hi.
And I'm going to let Ken introduce him.
Oh, yes. Hold on. Let me turn up the microphone. Oh, yes.
When I was a kid, special was an insult. I didn't know if it was.
Wow. I'm not sure where to go with that.
Well, no.
Be careful.
I mean, let's mark this down. One of the rare times that Ken
Yes,
left
he
at a
is.
loss
There
for
we go.
words.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give myself a pat on the back. I know you guys have been trying for years. So.
I'm going to go with. Okay, so we're back. All right, so as you guys know, it's our favorite part of the whole show where you guys get to order some food. But there's something unique that they have going on here at the Native Son. Now, if you are a sports fan, I'm here to tell you what he is about to talk about is a classic. As a matter of fact, there is a photo of one of the classics right behind
That's right.
PA's head.
That's true.
And to the left.
The other head.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, your other left.
Oh, other left.
Well,
Sorry, my left, your right, but whatever. That's irrelevant. All right, Ryan,
Yeah.
take it away.
Well, one of the things that we try to do around Native Son, we're always trying to kind of find a way to throw it back to the community and, just kind of celebrating who we are and this little corner of East Texas we got. So when we drop your check at your table, we have a postcard. And that postcard typically has what we call our local legends. So we've done Gordon Whitaker, we've done John Crow from GMC Crow, and we've done Henry Lewis. So those were our first 3 local legends that we did. And that was kind of like, it's a postcard, so if you fill it out, we'll mail it for you free of charge, and just something fun we like to do here. So we were.
Are those like football cards or baseball cards? Just one player?
Just a normal postcard with like one guy on them.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So for the fall, what we've decided to do is our local legends for the fall is the 1964 Canton Eagles
yeah.
football
Check
team.
that out, baby.
Yeah, the undefeated team.
Undefeated and unscored.
Unscored on.
Unscored.
Yes.
292-0 across all regular games.
That will never be done again.
No.
I don't think that'll ever be done
Some
again.
records are never meant to be broken.
It hasn't been done at any level that I'm aware of in the state of Texas since
Regardless of district.
1964.
And if David Barber has not heard of it, it has not been done.
That's
Yeah,
quite
they're
possible, yeah.
And I was around in 1964, albeit 5 years old. But I
David,
was around.
David, you've been around since 1864.
And I'm going to slip a Grant Saline jab in. Grant Saline scored, but it got called back.
Oh, there we go. There
fun
we
fact.
go.
And-
Yeah, of course.
A fun fact.
Yeah, this is how deep this stuff goes. Yeah.
There's the Joel
And-
Elliott we all
and-
know and love.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Elliott is in the building.
That was
There you go.
pre-internet. We cannot verify that. So,
Yeah, there is pre-internet.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to update my blurb on the back of the postcard here,
I love
There's
that.
an asterisk. It's like Barry Bonds.
Yeah, look, Grand Saline's getting a little salty on us.
Very good.
I don't understand why he's talking about bearer bonds, though. We're talking about football, not about money. Just
Well, you know what? This one's been a lot of fun for us. We have a lot of people come in when we release a new postcard, and And what's unique about this one is people can kind of take a peek and say, oh, that was my, uncle or my great-grandfather or whatever. And maybe not great-grandfather, but maybe the coach was. But anyway, so we've got all the names of all the players on the back. We've got a little blurb about their run that season. And so we'll be doing that all through the fall. So
I mean, that is awesome. That is a great postcard.
That's
if you get a
great.
chance.
I was here
let me
Friday
zoom
and
in
saw
on
it,
the-
and I
Let me
forgot
zoom
to
in
bring
on
it
the
with me.
camera here.
I got one for
And
you.
try to put that right. Well, you guys can't really see it. It's a really bad zoom in on my part, but we'll take a photo of it and we'll post it later on.
I love it. Well, anyways, let's talk about some food. What are we gonna
Okay.
tackle tonight?
Okay, I'm going to let you choose between two things I've identified here. I've narrowed it down here, Ryan. The Carver turkey BLT or the shaved ham. Which of those two?
I mean, look,
Like if you were just
I'm just going to tell you now. So we had in mind when we did these sandwiches, we wanted them to be like good lunch options. So everything, it's like comes with a choice of waffle fries, cracklings, or a side salad. And it's, we just really wanted to build that good lunch crowd. We've got these great entrees. How could we get a good lunch item? And so when we were doing it, we were like, well, we can't do it normal. We got to do it a little crazy. We got to do it where you can Instagram it and, where it's just fun and you got to smush it down. So
Social media sandwich.
yeah, that's right. You might need a knife and fork to eat it, But I think we get wonderful comments on both of them. The BLTs, we instead of using tomato, we use a sun-dried tomato chimichurri. So it's like a nice kind of tang, acidity, or whatever to it. The shaved ham and brie, I think, is the one that most people get surprised by because it's got the apple slices and the honey and the Dijon mustard, and it's just really, I think, something that people kind of get excited by. So
that's what I want.
Here
All right,
on the
let's do
Huddle,
it.
we call that the David Barber favorite.
That's right.
Well,
yeah.
you-
Well,
you
yeah.
act
We should
like I
just
order
consult
that,
him.
or you act like I order that the same thing every
Yeah,
week.
I know. As a matter of fact, that you
Put me
you
down
might
for that,
even-
please.
You got
you
it,
might
brother.
even consider calling that the David Barber.
or the Godfather.
Yeah, or the Godfather.
Godfather,
There you
yeah.
go.
Yes.
The ham and barber. Yeah.
I like the Hammond Barber. That's actually really good.
We
No,
can do.
I'm going with that.
Okay.
I'm going with that.
Oh, who guessed that one? If they've been watching the Huddle show for the
Probably
last
should have had a
episode.
contest running on the radio.
Yeah, there
station.
should be a quiz.
Yeah.
For the next one, right?
All right, what is David Barber gonna order tonight?
Food.
The Hammond Barber,
The
Godfather.
The Godfather. He's gonna order the Godfather.
Well, I know Barber's going with waffle fries. What are you going for your
Yes.
side?
Waffle
All right,
fries.
Let's
Yes.
do it.
He said waffle fries.
Waffle fries.
That's okay. I was going to let him pass over that. I was trying not to.
That was the Elmer
bring it up.
Fudd version of ordering.
All right, Mr. Elliott, what are we thinking?
So I love the muffalata,
Okay.
but I'm going to be eating it late. And the last time I did that, I didn't sleep good.
I hear you. I hear you.
But I loved it. It's
Yeah.
my so far it's my favorite thing you got. I'm going to go with the turkey carver sauce.
You got it. There you go.
That's my purpose. It has that. What's that stuff in that?
The chimichurri.
Melatonin.
Oh yes, there you go. That's right. The
Turkey.
turkey will help put you
It'll
down.
help put me to sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my orders to go, by the way.
You got it.
Mine's
Mine
what-
too.
and I want cracklings.
Yes,
'Cause
sir.
Those.
He says, I don't think I want fries. I'll take
So I came in here. I came in here with a couple of my buddies on Friday, and I ordered the cracklings, and he's like, "Pork rinds?" And I'm like, "Dude, I promise, I promise you're gonna love it." And they did. So
Well,
yeah.
what we did with those pork rinds is we thought, okay, if Frito-Lay approached us and said, come up with your craziest, wackiest flavor, what would it be? And so that was kind of the way we approached it. So,
And send me home with some of the jalapeno ranch. That
yeah,
is
absolutely.
Jalapeno Ranch.
awesome.
Makes sense to me.
Ryan, while you're here, can I say a good word about your waitress?
Okay, let's talk.
She is doing an outstanding job.
Thank you.
What's her name?
Bailey tonight.
Bailey.
Yeah.
Bailey
Great
tonight.
job.
Woo,
Great
What a
job.
weird, weird last name, Bailey tonight.
Hey, the couple of good folks just walked in the door there. Hey, Bailey, you've done a great job for us tonight. However, this is unsweet.
Oh.
Well, David.
She said, "Let me come put my finger in it, sweeten it right up."
You know
She's
what I
pointing
say
a
at this
knife.
point?
Way to call her
he
out.
probably took mine.
Don't throw the knife.
You know what I say at this point? David, you shan't be getting sweet tea from here on out.
Well,
Bailey's pretty sweet.
You're
She'll
such
probably
a
bring it to
soured
you.
person.
yes.
I
need all the
tea
sweetness
you
I can
brought over,
get.
Bailey, was sweet, but his personality seems to have soured it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bailey's a wonderful local girl who we really enjoy over here, and her high school has a football team that has never been defeated.
And
Martin's Mill.
That's right.
Oh, I see what you did
That's
there.
right.
See what you did there. Nice.
Really?
And it will probably stay that way.
And they
for
also
a
have never won a
long
game.
time.
A football game.
Well, don't mention that.
So they're 0-0.
They've got a
for football,
perfect record.
That's right.
That is, yeah.
Same number of wins and losses. Perfect
Yeah,
record.
it's got to be perfect. I'm
There you
going
go.
with that, yeah.
Perfect record.
Yeah.
Martin's Mill, perfect record football.
And speaking of Martins Mill, it won't be long until basketball season kicks off and tips off. And I'm sure both boys and girls are ready to go repeat as state champions.
That's their time to shine.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right.
All right, so I'm going to let you guys finish up, and I'm going to talk to the big boss guy over here for a moment.
He's only eating liquid, so I think we have to grind his
I'm off
into
of the
a shake.
liquids.
Okay.
I'm off of the liquids. I
Okay.
want something that is not going to make me not sleep. Well, I tell you what, let's do it on air. All right, so I'm off of the liquid. Now, by the way, if you guys don't know, for the past few weeks, I have been doing the gumbo only. And if you have not had their gumbo along with that duck leg, it is glorious. I mean, it is a nice dark roux that is on there. It does not come back to haunt you. The chicken, the sausage, everything about it, the rice, everything is just absolutely beautiful. And the duck leg, well, that's to die for. So, having said that, I'm going to see if he's going to recommend for me the gumbo or if he's going to recommend something else tonight, because I'm good either way.
Well, I mean, if we want to do something more substantial, are you going to go for something like an entree, or you want to do a sandwich, or what are we thinking?
I'm gonna ask you to tell me what you think we need to do,
Oh, Lord.
because
So,
I'm venturing outside of my comfort level.
yeah, the you pick game is always fun. So I think grilled redfish is our most popular dish. That's one thing where I grew up fishing for redfish with my uncles in the Gulf, and it just has a lot of memories for me. And then I would say the most talked about was probably our smoked pork chop. So I slow smoke a full rack on the smoker till it's rare at about 110. And we pull the rack off, we hand cut the chop off it, and finish it over a wood fire grill. Serve it up
Lord
with some
have
cheese
mercy.
grits and green beans.
You had me at delicious.
All right.
Now here's the question: have any of you guys tried the smoked pork chop?
I have. It's good.
And you've tried?
I have
the
not yet.
redfish?
The redfish, yes.
Okay. All right. So having said the two of them have both had that, I'm not going to ask their opinion. I'm going to let you choose between the two.
All right, let's Rochambeau.
All right. I know. Let's Rochambeau for it. Stand up.
All right, he
oh,
just
no,
kicked
that's
me.
not Rochambeau.
You're getting the
Yeah,
hummus.
Sorry. Hey.
All right.
I like hummus.
You want to go light or heavy tonight?
Do I look like to you?
All right, we're going pork chop.
That's
Jim
what
pork
I'm
chop
talking
tonight.
about.
You doing it for here to go?
To go.
All right, we're going to do it to go.
I may
Gentlemen,
eat it here, but I'm doing it to go.
appreciate you guys. Love chatting with you guys.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you,
I'll get out of
Ryan.
your hair.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
Hey, by the way, come out and enjoy being here on Tuesday night, 6 o'clock with us, or be here on Friday night, because there's a screen setting right over here behind the bar where you can be, and we're going to try to get the scoreboard up so you guys can have that on there also.
Love it.
But you can sit here and enjoy the game in an atmosphere that is very much cheers, kind of.
Yeah,
everything
local
is-
friendly.
It's local friendly. Everything is right here.
And they get to hear a professional broadcast.
Yeah.
So you can come here and enjoy the atmosphere.
Moving right along.
I didn't say a word.
with a screen to watch the game and
It's-
be a part of it.
It's been a lot of fun, and this year has been such a fun year so far for Canton football that it's just been a lot of fun to have those games screening, and all of our staff are wearing green shirts on Friday nights now, and so
Sweet.
we're just having a good time.
I like
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. Put on your Canton pride and come on down to the Native Sun on
That's
Friday
right.
night. Enjoy the game. Specifically, I mean, it's always nice to enjoy the game at the game, or if you would rather be able to get out quicker than, after game, you wanted to come down here to the Native Sun instead. I promise you'll get out of here faster than leaving the Canton High School parking lot. But the other news about that is that if it's an away game and it's too far away, like, I don't know, Timbuktu, that's where we played
Right.
last week, right?
Usually, yeah.
Timbuktu, Texas. But you could always come down here and enjoy the game locally and be closer to home.
There you go. Cool. Thanks, guys. Love having you all in
Thanks,
here.
Ryan.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Ryan.
Now, Joel has been patiently waiting
Tapping
to
my pen.
talk about the Grand Saline Indians. So we need to give him that opportunity.
Well, hold on. I believe the show is, yes, we're going to need to go ahead and let Joel do his thing. You see that look I'm getting?
But
you can see that on camera.
But before.
Just so you know, I've got video of that.
I hope you do.
I need to give you one more round of sponsors, and then we're going to turn it over to Joel.
He said he's round.
Yes. So we want to remind everyone that our show tonight is brought to you by Mill Creek Dental, making East Texas smile, Dr. Ann A. Duddle, General, Family, and Cosmetic Dentistry, Orthodontics, 903-567-2207, located at 104 Burnett Trail in Canton. We're also brought to you by Ship and Print. Shipping, printing, faxing copies, notary, office supplies. They have a community board. They have retail spaces for rent. They're located at 438 North 4th Street in Wills Point, 972-750-6063. Also, we're brought to you by Tim James Insurance Agency, Home, Auto, Business, and Farm. They're located at 548 West Highway 243 in Canton, 903-567-0627. And we're brought to you by Taylor Automotive at 27928 Highway 64 in Canton, 903-567-3948. I'm David Barber, Van Zant News sports correspondent, joined by T.A. Hale from the Buzz Brothers, the counselor Joel Elliott, Engineer Ken, who has something to share with us before we turn it over to Joel.
I do a couple of little things. Scott Myers chimed in earlier and said, David, does that mean that the pie you threw at the Canton mayor was just a huge nightmare? He also then asked, when it comes to Canton, coexist with them vandals. And then Tavo says, yeah, the pork chops sound good. Well, Tavo, I'm going to be trying the pork chops. I'm just throwing that out there, buddy. I'll let you know next week what I thought of them, because you can't trust the counselor. I mean,
When it comes to food, you might.
no, when it comes to football, you can't trust the counselor, and therefore I call into question his judge on food. So I have to check for myself. As a fat boy, I know food. Just throwing that out there.
But we're going to trust him right now because he's going to fill us in about the Grand Saline Indians.
Well, if you're talking about the Grand Saline Indians, Glansaline, you like that, the Glansaline Indians? You need to listen to Joel, because that's the one thing. Of all the things that he knows in the world, the Glansaline Indians is the one thing that he knows.
Take it away.
It's always awkward coming
it
in
is.
after him.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Okay, so Grand Saline played Rains. They won 42-12. They were supposed to win big. It was the Jet Taylor show. He came, and I'll tell you, his passing numbers may not look as good as what you would think, but in my opinion, he threw the ball better the other night than I think I've ever seen him throw it. He was 5 of 9, 82 yards, and a touchdown pass. The touchdown pass, he put it in the back of the end zone, put some air under it, and Prox was able to go get it. He had another pass play to Carson Herring where he put enough air under it that Herring could go get it. It was a 40-yard reception. It ended up setting up a touchdown, I believe. Like I said, 5 of 9, 82 yards with a touchdown pass. Rushing the ball, Jet had 16 carries for 311 yards,
Whoa.
4 touchdowns.
Whoa.
So Preston Haas, who is our main running back, he had 8 carries for 39 yards, and he did everything he needed to do. Now, on the flip side of it, and if any of y'all listen to the podcast that I do over in Grand Saline, I'm not always the nicest person to Grand Saline either. So I will tell you, my wife...
You're giving it to him straight.
My wife warned me that the kids, and we have kids on that one, and she warned me that they may not want to come back, but so far they have. We've had issues all year long with cramps. We seem to have mostly alleviated that problem. We had a few plays with some arm tackling that I didn't like, but we are getting better with that also. Kickoff coverage left a lot to be desired, but our punt coverage was awesome. Colton Prox had about a 65-yard punt that was absolutely incredible, and on all of our other punts, we did really well on covering them. Prox had a big hit while he was returning a punt. I mean, it was a huge hit. He delivered it, and then you could tell he knew that he had laid a big hit. We have an outside linebacker, sophomore named Key, who had a big hit on the quarterback, and he danced it off. Ashton Withers, another sophomore playing a 7 technique, had a big hit on the sack. Bolin, playing middle linebacker, I think he had like 13. He had 12 tackles, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. And when he did that, the other thing our defense is doing a whole lot better is we're stripping the ball. He had a strip that was inside the 5. He recovered them where they were going to potentially score. He stripped it. He recovered it. There was another play where all of the defensive backs were chasing a receiver at the goal line. Taylor grabs him, and I can't remember. I believe it was Haas that stripped the ball, and Hathcock recovered it in the end zone. Everything's starting to kind of do what it needs to do in Grants Lean. Gabe Lewis also stepped up and had some pretty big hits there too. I'm liking what I'm seeing in Grants Lean last week. There's everybody that knows me knows I'm going to point out some of the things that could use improvement. You heard Coach Moffitt talk about Van. We're not playing our best football yet, but Friday night was a really big step in the right direction. This coming Friday, Grants Lean plays Joaquin. Joaquin, I take it back. It's Thursday.
I was going to say,
it's Thursday.
Is it Thursday? Yeah.
It is Thursday. It's a 7:30 start, and it's in Joaquin, which you might as well go ahead and
Start now.
Yeah, what are you still doing here?
Leave now. Joaquin is 2-1. They lost to, I believe they lost to Frankston, 22-40. Frankston is ranked number 5 in 2A Division I, and they're really, really good. So Joaquin, according to the Harris rating system, is the exact same rank as Grants Lean. It should be an even game, and we're playing at their place on a Thursday night. So those are some things that like Coach Moffitt was saying, you play good teams to get better. This will be a good test for Grants Lean to have before I think they have one more game before district, and then we're going to be looking forward after Wills Point or after Edgewood plays Palmer. I think at that point it's going to be hard to keep the kids from kind of looking out a little bit to the future. So
Grants Lean has Harmony after Joaquin.
Yes, they have. I think they have a bye week, and then they have Harmony and then one way or the other, and then
Bye week after Joaquin.
Okay, so it's a bye week, then it's Harmony, and then it's Edgewood. It's going to be hard to keep those kids from after this Friday night's over with from looking forward to that. So this, I believe, will be the 97th year since the first game that Grants Lean and Edgewood played. So I've talked to Paul and I've talked to Eric. It's one of the things, and I always want Van Zandt County teams to win. I say what I say, but I really do want all of our kids in Van Zandt County to win. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, my feelings towards Van are my feelings towards Van, but it's still good folks, and I want Van to do well. If they were playing Grants Lean, I wouldn't want them to, just like Edgewood. But I want Edgewood to win every game. I want Grants Lean to win every game, and I want that to be the biggest game that they have of the season, because when that game matters, life's just better.
Yeah, and this may be the best that the two teams have been and faced one another since the two teams have gotten good again.
Yes.
Since the old days, you might say.
Yeah.
And I know they've had some good teams in the past 3 or 4 years, but both teams are really kind of maybe at their best when they're going to face each other.
So the bonus bovine Billy Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he chimed in.
Bonus Billy is listening. All
I like to
right.
call him, Cowboy Billy, so it's Bovine Billy. But he chimed in and he wanted a question for me to ask to you, David.
Uh-oh.
He said, ask David if he likes my idea of the Vandal Hour.
Oh, yes. We were talking about that earlier, having a Vandal Hour, and I thought we were going to work toward that tonight when we were here.
I thought you just
do
did.
realize it's 7:24 already.
Did Billy make
really
his
about to do
Vandal Hour
that.
happen tonight? Is that what just happened to me? Billy got his Vandal Hour.
Yeah.
It's under consideration.
All right.
But can I just share this with you?
No.
Since
All
I
right,
was.
so moving on. I'm sorry, go right ahead.
No, I don't want to cut Joel off.
No,
Did you have anything?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Let me just say this. I was not able to be on our sister stations program last night, the Locker Room Show, due to business responsibilities.
What?
Yeah. So I was not able to share some numbers from the Van Lindale game, and I was about to before Coach Moffitt walked in.
Well, that's okay. I mean, Coach Moffitt's already been here. All that's covered. Let's move on.
So in a 56-49 game, you would expect to hear some high numbers. How about the two teams combined for 105 points scored, 15 touchdowns, 8 by Lindale, 7 by Van. And by the way, both teams made all of their extra points. There was not an extra point missed in the game Friday night. The two teams combined for 48 first downs, 520 yards rushing, 558 yards passing, for a total offense of 1,078 yards. The two quarterbacks, this was the most impressive thing to me. The two quarterbacks combined completed 32 out of 51 passes. All right. Both quarterbacks, each one of them threw 4 touchdown passes, and both of them had 0 interceptions. I thought those were remarkable numbers by those two quarterbacks, and just remarkable numbers overall in a game that lasted 3 hours and 15 minutes.
There's only one quarterback that strikes memory to me that would be better than that in all of Anzac County, and that was
Kent Facklum.
no, that was Joel Elliott.
Wade Facklum.
Wade would be there. Kent not so much, but I think Joel Elliott could only surpass those numbers.
Well,
at least in my memory.
Let's put Joel on the spot. Joel, what was your highest yardage game passing at Grand Saline?
Well, they ran the veer back
he
then.
doesn't
It
remember
was
any of
200 and something.
You got 200 yards.
But,
Okay, there you go.
But that was an anomaly. Most of the time, Jets' numbers from this past week was a pretty good week. So I'll just tell
I
you.
remember talking to Robbie Parrish, one of the assistant coaches at Van. He played quarterback at Van.
Played against me.
We were talking about quarterbacks' numbers, and he said, you know, so-and-so completed all those passes the other night and had so many touchdowns and so many yards. I did that in one season.
I think
He's doing it in one game, what I did in one season.
when Robbie and I played against each other, if the total passing statistics were 10 out of 20 for 150 yards,
Yeah.
that was probably a pretty good night.
They really aired it out.
Yeah.
That was probably a pretty good night for Robbie and I.
All right, let's go over our schedule one more time, and because it's getting dark. Have we been here that long?
Well, David Barber.
They're cleaning up around us. They're starting to sweep and put the
day was
chairs up on the
early
tables.
when we started this thing, and that's all I got to say.
So we've got Van playing at Sunnyvale Friday night. We've got 2 homecoming games. Wills Point's going to have homecoming Friday night and a 7 o'clock start against Farmersville. And then we've got Fruitvale is having homecoming without a football game. So Fruitvale's homecoming activities are going to be Thursday night. Also coming up Thursday night, Grand Saline makes the long trip to Joaquin. And you say it's a 7:30 kickoff.
I
on
believe
Thursday.
it's still a 7:30 kickoff.
And then we've got, have I covered everybody but Canton? I want to give you the opportunity to tell us your broadcast schedule for Canton and Maybank.
Yes, myself and Touchdown Tommy Day will go on air about 7:15 for a pregame and kickoff 7:30 against the Maybank Panthers. It's the battle of Highway 198.
Sometimes I
Canton is
call
gonna
him
beat them down.
Sometimes I call him Two-Tone Tommy Day.
He's got lots of nicknames.
Yeah, Tommy the Reader.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
Are we finished for tonight?
Well, no, we're
People
still
are hoping
thinking-
we are.
We're still thinking about nicknames for Tommy.
I think the
Yeah.
same kids had 2 birthdays while we were here.
My wife's already asked where am I?
Well, all right. In that case,
Do us up, sir.
For Engineer Ken, for T.A. Hale, for Joel Elliott, I'm David Barber. Thanks again to Coach Moffitt for being with us tonight. And we want to remind everyone that you have been listening and watching the Huddle Show on the Bee.
The B, 95.1 and 1510 AM.
Mercy.
Celebrating 60 years of playing the soundtracks to your life. And we're still grooving with you.
Mama said you can't hold love.
KWJB, Canton, Wills Point, Van, Mineola, and all East Texas.
TSN headlines. Governor Abbott is calling for the expulsion of a Texas state student after video surfaces of him mocking the murder of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. The president of the university quickly responded, said that such behavior, anything that trivializes or promotes violence, is reprehensible. More than 100 teachers are under investigation by the Texas Education Agency for online comments about the death of Kirk. A McKinney man going to prison for life. He was convicted of abusing a 10-year-old girl. Collin County prosecutors say the victim told her mother about the abuse. Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo makes it official. She is not running for re-election. She had said before she was not interested in a third term. Border Patrol agents stopped $16 million of methamphetamine from coming to the U.S. at the border at the World Trade Bridge. The smugglers hid the drugs inside a shipment of frozen mangoes. In the majors tonight, the Rangers are at the Houston Astros. And with your Texas news headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
In Texas, we pride ourselves on standing tall. But sometimes, even the toughest folks need a hand. If you or someone you know is having a mental health crisis, call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Or to chat, visit texas988.org. Trained counselors are available 24/7 to provide confidential support at no cost to you. With 988, you're not alone in the Lone Star State.
When you need Case construction equipment, ASCO is your dealer. From compact